Hi everybody, Tekking101 here, and for today, for your viewing pleasure, I will be comparing the differences that everybody that didn't think Rukia would get a Bankai before and after last chapter. Here's the before. Well, Rukia, she's not exactly one of the strongest characters in the series. I mean, she barely defeated Arinyera without almost killing herself, so, I don't really see her getting a Bankai, and I just don't really see her getting on that same level as Renji and Ichigo and Byakuya as the other captains. Yeah, sure, she might have trained at the Soul Palace and everything, but I don't see her getting that much stronger, really. Not to say that just because she's not getting a Bankai doesn't mean she's not important to the plot, but I don't see her kicking as much ass as all those other characters do. Hey man, do we got any ice? Oh, God, that is horrific. Convenient, but horrific. Hey everybody, Tekking101 here to review Bleach chapter number 570, entitled Closer. Closer. No, seriously, closer. Come a little closer. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. Press your nose against your computer screen and or media device of your choice. Okay. A little bit closer. Fucking idiot. Alright, so, chapter starts off in a hospital room somewhere where we see a very sickly individual just kind of like on life support, hanging on for dear life, and he's not even saying anything. He's just having an inner monologue about exactly how much pain he's in right now and how all that life that breathes within me brings nothing but pain, and he also starts contemplating exactly where he's going and what heaven and hell is like. It's kind of weird. He reminds me a lot like Jugo from Naruto from this, how you're weighing two different things constantly and you keep changing your mind about it. He's sitting there and he's just like, yeah, I bet it's not as bad as in heaven, although it might be. Although I guess I could go to hell. Although hell would be kind of sucky. Yeah, I guess I'd rather go to heaven than hell. Then again, maybe not. So he continues with this, and it's actually revealed later on that this individual that is actually in the hospital bed is in fact Asnot. So we got a backstory on this guy. I was finally, I was expecting like some demented childhood or something, like maybe he killed small puppies. That's how he ended up the way he ended up, but no, he's just this dying, sickly person in a hospital bed, dying of, I don't know, cancer or something. It really makes me feel kind of sorry for him. Also, apparently Asnot was a Mormon, I guess. Yeah, so take that what you will. Although I have to say, as about the contemplating about the heaven or hell, well, you're not exactly wrong. You see, there is a hell, and it does kind of suck if you go there. But in the context of the Bleach universe, heaven's not really much better either. You kind of end up in a dusty field somewhere, and you have to kind of scavenge for food, and you might end up dying of thirst or starvation anyway. Oh, by the way, that book you're reading, kind of way the fuck off course. Right, God Kubo? Well, I'm sorry I didn't have the time of my day to write a book. I'm kind of busy up here. I just assumed that all of mankind at once would figure out that the afterlife is a feudalistic Japan society. How hard is that to figure out, really? Wow, someone woke up on the wrong side of the Alpha and Omega today.
Oh, you big baby. Here, have a candy bar.
Cool! Thanks, God Kubo! Yeah, whatever. Just go back to your lame-ass review. Anyway, while Az is waiting in his hospital bed just to basically die, he gets a surprise visitor, which turns out to be Yuha Bach, who states that, so you're the ones that survived, I guess. In that case, I shall grant you unimaginable power. Guys, I think I totally called that. Let's go back a little bit here. Chapter 565 review. Here's my answer to this question where the Sternritters came from. So, we have Yuha's selection that he made, the screening that he made of all the Quincy's, his holy choosing of the Quincy's that would live and the Quincy's that would die and make up his power. That happened 9 years ago. So, let's say he killed off all the mixed blood Quincy's, like he killed Katagiri and he killed Masaki. Alright, all the Quincy's that he did not kill, the ones that he chose as his holy selection, were the ones that were still around, the pure blood Quincy's, which are the Sternritter. But at that time, they were just normal Quincy's. Maybe they weren't even aware they were Quincy's. Maybe they were just like subconsciously, they had it in their genes and they didn't even know they were Quincy's. So Yuha rallies all these Quincy's together, forms the Sternritter, like the Sternritter as we know right now. They were just normal Quincy's at that time, and then divided out part of his power. So yeah, that's where I figure the Sternritters came from. All the Quincy's that did not die in His Majesty's selection were then chosen by Yuha Bach and then bestowed with the different letters members of the Sternritters that Yuha took from himself, and he divided them up into the 26 survivors of his holy selection. That's what I just always figured. The one flaw in that theory is Royd and Lloyd, Sternritter Y, that turned out they had their powers before they were even born. Like, while in utero, they had the power of the yourself, so that's a little bit confusing on exactly where that came from. But in terms of Asnaut, like how he got his powers, it makes perfect sense. Maybe Az was just like a Quincy. Maybe he did know it, maybe he didn't know it. He was apparently really religious, so maybe he did, and because the Quincy's just turn out to be like that kind of most of the time. And then the Ash Wall and the selection happened, and then all the Quincy's dropped dead, and maybe Asnaut didn't necessarily die, but maybe he was like, maybe Misaki and the like, where Misaki did not die because of the selection. She was just rendered completely, she couldn't move, or she, was rendered unconscious because of the selection, and Grand Fisher killed her at the exact wrong moment. Like, that's the worst time, Yuha could have possibly pulled that. So maybe the same thing happened with Asnaut, where he got, basically hospitalized, and then Yuha came and then, he bestowed the power of the F onto him because he was still alive after the selection, maybe something like that. Then again, going by that logic, that would make Asnaut an impure Quincy, but I'm not really sure what Yuha's plans are here. I'm not exactly sure how this all works out. That's just my theory, really. Anyway, so we cut back to the present after the release of Rukia's Bankai, where Asnaut is having his very last moments. He has one last final fear monologue talking about what it really means, and then we finally pan out to see that his entire body has been frozen to its very core, and he disappears into icy dust in the wind. Oh, wow, Rukia's Bankai is freaking awesome! That attack made Asnaut basically frozen to his very core. It must have been at least at absolute zero or something. Anyway, but yeah, Asnaut's dead, and we cut back over to Rukia, whose sword is now completely transparent. I guess it's completely made out of ice now, and we get her full-on appearance, which is freaking awesome. I was going to compare her to like a Disney queen or like a Disney princess, but I really don't have anything else to say to that. I mean, her appearance is breathtakingly beautiful. The outfit works. Sore no Shirayuki itself is modified a little bit. The tassel that comes off of it is a little bit more elaborate now. It kind of wraps around her entire body and gives these cool, she has a very regal queen-like appearance about her. So I made clear that her entire body in this form is basically encased in ice, so I would assume the outfit she's wearing is just made out of ice that manifests. But it's still a really badass appearance, and that's really all I have to say about it. It's really freaking cool. I'm sure we're bound to see a lot of cool fan art about it in the near future. Anyway, so I guess Rukia is now trying to disengage her Bankai. We see that her hand begins to crack and break as I guess she's trying to move it when Byakuya hand shows up and grabs her, and she's like, oh, okay, just take it easy, just let it melt slowly, Rukia. Take your time. This Bankai is breathtakingly beautiful, and it's a really powerful Bankai, but just like your Shikai, it's very freaking dangerous if you don't get the timing right. I guess if you activate it and then you try to go back to normal too quickly, I guess that'll really damage your cells the same way the Shikai did. Byakuya just finishes up his monologue by saying, basically, whenever you use this Bankai, you have to be very resolute, you have to be very confident in your powers, you can't let anything slip, you can't let any fear enter your body, you basically have to be completely sure and calm in mind whenever you use it. Maybe that's the reason why she used it last chapter after, Byakuya calmed her down and she was finally praised by her brother, which is what she wanted for so long, so now she was finally confident and she was sure that she could handle her Bankai. Anyway, so Rukia's Bankai begins to slowly melt as Byakuya says we have to get going because the Soul Society needs us as the last bit of ice kind of melts off of her face. I don't know if she can just move on like normal. I don't know if she can use her Bankai again in succession, or even if her Shikai ability in succession. It seems like a really troublesome story. It really seems like she's playing with fire here. I know that's kind of a weird analogy because her power is ice, but basically that's just like it, So it's like when she uses her Bankai, or even her Shikai to the degree, she might as well have a freaking bomb strapped to her chest because she makes one wrong move and the whole thing just goes south immediately. So this is a freaking dangerous sword if nothing else. So we get the title page, then we cut back over to the location where Isane was healing Kensei and Rose. We don't exactly know where this location is in the Vendante. It's under, I guess it's in some barrack area, because who also is with Isane is Yachiru. And Yachiru is having a lot of fun. She's jumping down on the beds and she's just like, wow, Quincy's really know how to live in style. I can take a really nice nap right here. Isane is of course, how the hell can she act like this? We're in the middle of enemy territory. Everyone's getting shot. I'm healing two critically injured captains right now that literally got the shit kicked out of them by a luchador, and she's back there jumping on the beds. But this is Yachiru's character. And she brings up something that honestly I honestly forgot about a little bit. Her reaction to Kenpachi leaving, because the last time we saw Yachiru, it was when Kenpachi and Unohana went down in the prison to fight, and all that Kenpachi left of him for Yachiru to remember him by was just his eye patch. So Yachiru picked up the eye patch and she was like really solemn, and that was the last time we saw her. Here, Isane's just like, wow, I must really thank you for helping me out here. I guess Yachiru is kind of her bodyguard while Isane heals everybody, and Yachiru's just like, yeah, well, Kenny's not coming back anytime soon, so I guess my schedule's kind of freed up. So she seems really happy and confident. I mean, I'm still sure she's probably really kind of upset that Kenny left, that Kenpachi left. Now I'm calling him Kenny. Ken-chan, that Kenpachi left her, but maybe she knows that he's going to come back someday, or he's going to come back at some point, and you know, even if he isn't coming back, you know, he's going to be happy whatever he's doing, you know, so I think she just gets it. Also interesting that Yachiru and Isane are the ones that are together now, because, you know, Unohana, you know, was Asane's captain, whereas, you know, Kenpachi was, of course, Yachiru's captain, so that's really neat that Kubo put them together here. I mean, he could have thrown in maybe somebody else that's more fit to be a bodyguard here, you're like one of the lieutenants we haven't seen yet, you're like, oh, wow, my God, who's left? Maybe somebody even as simple as like Iba, you know. No, wait, does Iba doubt? Yeah, Iba might be gone. But you know what I mean. Like some other random Shinigami, and I guess they picked Yachiru, a good matchup there. So Yachiru just continues her childlike antics while Isane just thinks to herself, wow, it's amazing that they haven't found her location yet with her acting like that. And then immediately after that, we hear a creepy-ass voice coming from somewhere in the room, and I'm like, oh God, please don't tell me, like, Asnot resurrected himself somehow. Please don't tell me Asnot is like a ghost and he's haunting them, because this is the same shit that happened with Rukia like 4 chapters ago. But it's even added to the creepiness when what the voice says is the thoughts that Isane was just thinking to herself without speaking them. I've never found our location, I'll never know. That just crossed your mind, right? Alright, so full disclosure here, the first thing that popped into my mind was this was Sternritter M. No, because the first thing you figure is that this person can clearly read minds. It's probably not a Sternritter we've seen yet. I'm going to go to M right away just because for Mind Reader or something of the like. I put that aside from now. We'll get to that in a minute. So, Isane hears this creepy voice talk from behind her. She turns her head, and then... Oh, holy shit! Frickin' Stern Creeper! What the fuck? That is... Oh, wow. That... You know what? That should have been Sternritter F. I don't care what letter this dude is, he needs to be Sternritter F, because this guy is about 5 times creepier than this. I don't care what you think. I don't even care his creepy-ass Volt standing that turns him into a Creed video, and then he begins melting his skin. This dude is instantly creepy. Freaky, I don't know, he looks like Christopher Lloyd if he got thrown into a pot of molten acid, and like part of his skin got creeped off, and he got his teeth baring, and his eyes are all like turning around like Mayori's always are, like his eyes are like missing around. He's wearing the glasses, he has this weird like freaking clown afro, and these things that look like, they look like headphones, except they're like stretching across his face. Like, this dude is this freaking, the nightmares made from this guy. Even added to the fact he starts like playing with his tongue, and he's just like, I see you. It got to be really hard to talk with the tongue doing that thing. But yeah, Isane is noticeably freaked out by this. Yeah, so he's interrupted a little bit when Yachiru just shows up and clocks the guy like dead in the face. And after she punches him, the dude completely vanishes, like in the middle of the punch. Like, he doesn't even have a chance to hit the floor. As soon as Yachiru contacts him, like, he bleeds a little bit, but then he just vanishes out of nowhere. So Yachiru lands on the ground, and she's like, ah, that's weird, I thought I hit him. And immediately after that, though, she questions what she just said. She's like, wait, hold on, hit him? That's funny, I don't even remember what I was trying to hit. And this is responded immediately when Yachiru's face, the punch got redirected to her face, and then she gets knocked across the room, and it's a little bit confusing here. Isane goes and tries to tend to Yachiru because she got hit out of nowhere. Like, we have no idea, she has no idea what the hell's going on now. They can no longer see this weird Stern Creeper dude, but they can still hear his voice. And he goes on and saying, did that girl just hit me? That is unexcusable. You've crossed the line. I am Sternritter V, Vanishing Point, Gwenhale. My very essence vanishes right before your very eyes, and slips right out of your mind as well. And you could just imagine the creepy-ass tone he set there when he said those words. But anyway, that's the end of the chapter, and, yeah, so to put it in terms that you guys would understand anyway, this Sternritter basically ain't got no time for that.
Nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
There you go. What, not even like, 2 panels in the freaking chapter, and I already break out the freaking ain't got no time for that. Running gag. Well, hey, I gotta get all the Sternritters eventually, so might as well. Although I will admit I'm a little bit bummed out that it was Sternritter V that was revealed. I'm kind of holding out for Sternritter N so I can finally freaking play Sternritter Bingo. I mean, my God, Kubo, come on. The possibilities are endless here. Whatever, just add them to the freaking chart, I guess. So this is Sternritter V, Gwen Hale, and he is the Vanish, or the Vanishing Point. Now this is like the first new Sternritter we've gotten since like chapter, I think 543, when, that's when, Askin was introduced. I think that was the last new Sternritter we saw that was actually named with a rank, was Askin Naklevar, Sternritter D. I know we also saw that creepy-ass Sternritter with, like, the weird smile, and he was holding up that cane, but we don't know who his name is. Oh, no, we know his name. I think his name was started with a Y, but we don't know his letter. But anyway, this is Sternritter V, and his power is basically, I guess, to completely remove himself from existence, not just from, not just, like, fading out of existence, like he's turning invisible or something, but also removed himself from their mind. So, yeah, I guess he's basically combining Obito's Kamui ability and Sugar's erasing mind abilities from Naruto and One Piece especially. I guess Kubo's just getting ideas. I'm like, I'm just going to combine these two together. But that's basically what he is. I mean, when Yachiru hit the guy, for a second there she remembered hitting him, but then like the very next second she's like, I don't remember, what was I even doing? I don't even understand. So, and he's still talking to them, so I don't exactly know what his powers are. If he's like vanishing, like going to a different dimension like it is Kamui, I would assume that would make sense, or maybe like to the space between dimensions, because he vanishes but they can still clearly hear him, so his physical body has to be somewhere. I mean, you could just say different dimension, I'll be happy with that. I mean, I love science fiction, I watch the freaking anime all the time. I can understand a guy that can just slip in and out of a pocket dimension. Or maybe, better example, maybe Bluey knows Air Door from One Piece also, his Door no Mi, he can just kind of slip in the space between spaces. I would completely understand that, but clearly, I mean, he has to be somewhere, even though he is the Vanish. All things being said, though, that's going to make fighting this guy really fucking difficult, but I really hope that Isane and Yachiru at least do something with this. I really hope that like some other captain doesn't just break in and be like, okay, I'm gonna save you girls, you're going down, like Kenpachi breaks in or something. I mean, if Kenpachi was ever gonna, step into a fight, it would be this fight where his lieutenant is fighting. I mean, that would be like Rukia with Byakuya showing up, and I mean, that would make sense. But I'm just like, even if somebody else is gonna show up and like save them, I really hope we get to see just a little bit of what they can do. Like, Yachiru's not out of the fight. I mean, she got socked, but, she can still probably fight. Maybe we can see what their Zanpakutos toes are. I mean, Isane's Itegumo, which, by the way, means frozen cloud. So if we get another freaking ice type, that would be just freaking clustered together there. And then we get Hirimaru, we'll have Sode no Shirayuki we just learned about, and then we might get a freaking another ice type, frozen cloud, or frozen snow. I think it means one of the two. And Yachiru's Zanpakuto, which we know nothing about. But just going on from that, the exact damage or the nature of the damage of how Yachiru was hurt. She punched Gwen Hale, he vanished, and then the damage got reflected back on her. Maybe whatever happens like with the Vanish, maybe when he disappears, like the damage has to go somewhere, like he got hit, but maybe he can like reverse it, or like, oh, okay, I'm vanishing, so I don't exist anymore, but that punch was still kinetic energy, and someone has to get hit, someone has to get damaged, so maybe he can direct it back on her. Or maybe the other way to look at it was after maybe he is still damaged, but after he vanished, he managed to attack her while he was like invisible. I don't want to say invisible, because that's clearly not what he's doing. It's clearly something else. I mean, he's completely erasing his presence from their minds, so like they have no idea. It's like the silence, damn it, that's what he is. I was trying to make up some kind of comparison of what this dude was. Like, I'm like Bluno, maybe Sugar's about. No, he's a fucking Silence from Doctor Who. Damn it, I called that. Totally, yeah, right, just remember that. Alright. So he's a Silence from Doctor Who. If you don't watch Doctor Who, the Silence are aliens, minor spoilers, but not really. The Silence are aliens that when you ever look at them, you can remember who they are, but the second you take your eyes off of them, you forget. So you'll be looking at one, like there could be one in this room right now, actually. There could be, like, there's a Silence right over there. I'm like, holy shit, there's a Silence. Alright, so anyway, there should be a Silence, like, somewhere in this room. There could be, I was like, holy shit, what the hell's that? Anyway, so yeah, there could be a Silence anywhere in this room. It's like, oh, look at that. That's basically how it goes. Where are there marks on my wrist from? Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter review. That's basically all I have to say here. I hope we get a little bit more of Isane and Yachiru in the next chapter, at least fighting at least a little bit before, if somebody else comes in and saves the day. I mean, best case scenario, I would love these two ladies that are kind of supporting characters would have like at least some damage on this Sternritter, but that's probably not going to be the case. Someone's probably going to come and have to save her. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Tekking101 signing out. Oh, shit.